Did you know that there is one king who towers above all other pharaohs of Egypt? Meet Ramesses II, Ramses the Great. This man was a legendary warrior and builder who ruled over Egypt for more than 66 years. He led armies into battle across the Near East, and he built some of the most impressive monuments of the ancient world. Welcome to my channel. And today we shall see why he is considered by many to be the greatest king of Egypt. Make sure to watch till the end to find out about the secret behind his impressive Abu Simbel temples. When talking about the greatest kings of the ancient world, it is important to mention the pharaoh Ramesses II. He was an absolute monarch whose reign lasted longer than any other pharaoh before or after him. He took the throne at the age of 25 in the year 1279 BC and ruled until he died at the age of 90. During his long life, which is believed to have spanned around 66 years, he managed to transform Egypt into a real empire. He was a true military leader who won many battles against hostile neighbors. He also loved building temples and monuments throughout the country. Most of them are still standing today. One of the greatest battles in which Ramesses II participated was the Battle of Kadesh. It took place in the middle of the 13th century BC between Egypt and the Hittites near the Orontes River in Syria. In ancient Egyptian records, this conflict was known as the Battle of the North. But today, historians refer to it as the Battle of Kadesh because that's where it took place. Many historians believe that it was the largest chariot battle ever fought up to that date. It was a very hot day. The Egyptians were advancing towards the Hittite army. Ramesses rode in his war chariot and directed the troops from the front line. Suddenly, the Hittites attacked the Egyptian left wing, which was commanded by Ramesses' son, Prince Herihor. To rescue his son and stabilize the front line, the pharaoh decided to attack the enemy with his elite troops. In fact, this is how the future pharaoh Ramesses III described his father's behavior during the fighting. "My father, the great warrior, went out to battle in his chariot. He fought like a lioness protecting her cubs. Unfortunately, Prince Herihor died in the battle. Despite his efforts, the Hittites continued to attack the Egyptians. That's when Ramesses II ordered the retreat. Both sides claimed victory, and thus the battle ended in a stalemate. This was the first time in recorded history that a peace treaty had been signed between two opposing nations. It was made between Ramesses II and the Hittite king Hattusili III. The document was written in two languages, Egyptian and Hittite, which shows how serious both rulers were about maintaining peace. Ramesses II liked to see himself as a military hero. You can notice this if you take a look at the inscriptions and temples he built throughout Egypt. For example, in the temple of Abu Simbel, you can see Ramses in his war chariot driving straight toward the Syrian city of Kadesh. Behind him, soldiers are charging into battle, while in the distance, you can see the Syrian king fleeing on a horse. He also waged war against the kingdom of Libyans and Nubia, but these campaigns were not as significant as his battle against the Hittites. However, they helped to secure the borders of his empire and extend his influence throughout the region. Ramesses II clearly enjoyed being seen as a powerful warrior, but he was also very fond of building buildings. Abu Simbel is probably his greatest architectural achievement. These two great temples were carved into the face of a mountain. They are located in Nubia, which is now part of Sudan. In ancient times, this area was called Wat. When Ramesses II conquered this region, he wanted to show the local population who was in charge. So he began building two massive temples dedicated to himself. Construction began around 1244 BC, and the work took about 20 years to complete. The interior of the temples is decorated with beautiful sculptures, paintings, and hieroglyphics. They tell stories from different periods of Ramesses' life. You can see him as a baby being nursed by his mother, Queen Hatshepsut. You can see him hunting, fighting in battles, or making offerings to the gods. There's even one relief showing him fighting a giant. In front of the temple, there are 4 huge statues of the pharaoh. They are 65 feet tall and each weighs about 200 tons. This makes them the heaviest stone statues ever carved by hand. Their size is truly amazing, and you can feel small just by standing next to them. Also impressive are the 6 gigantic pillars inside the temple, each 69 feet high. On top of the pillars are 138 figures, each unique and beautifully carved. The biggest pillar has 42 figures, and the smallest has 14. Many people think that the two Abu Simbel temples were built only to glorify Ramses and make him look like a god. However, they also served an important purpose. They were meant to protect the pharaoh's final resting place. The Ramesseum was a huge mortuary temple built by Ramesses II at Thebes. This was his favorite city, and he spent much of his time there. It was here that he welcomed foreign dignitaries, and it was here that he died. The temple was built in honor of his victories in battle and his many building projects. It was also meant to be a monument to his greatness as a pharaoh. The temple was built on the site of an older temple dedicated to Amun, Ra, the sun god. Ramesses II added a number of new buildings and expanded the existing ones. He also built a number of statues and obelisks in honor of himself and his family. The temple is decorated with reliefs and paintings depicting scenes from various periods of his life. There are scenes from his coronation, his military campaigns, and his building projects. There are also scenes of him worshipping the gods and making offerings to them. During his reign, he built his own city and named it Ramesses. It was located in the eastern Nile Delta and was meant to be a new capital of Egypt. He built palaces, temples, and other public buildings there. He also brought merchants and artisans from other parts of the empire to live in his city. It was supposed to be a center of trade and industry. Unfortunately, the city was abandoned after Ramesses' death. It was probably because the seat of government moved back to Thebes. Today, only a few ruins of the city remain. Ramses II had many wives, but his main wife was Queen Nefertari. She was the great royal wife and the most beloved of all of Ramses' consorts. Together, they had 6 sons and 5 daughters. However, Ramses had many other children as well. In total, he had at least 100 sons and 60 daughters. Some of his sons became pharaohs after his death. The most famous of them were his 3rd son, Ramesses III, and his 13th son, Ramesses IV. Ramesses II left a lasting mark on Egyptian and world history. He was a great military leader who won many battles and expanded the borders of his empire. He was also a great builder who constructed some of the most impressive monuments of the ancient world. Perhaps his greatest legacy is the peace treaty he signed with the Hittites. It was the first known peace treaty in history, and it helped to establish peace in the region for many years. Thanks for watching. If you want to learn more about the legendary pharaoh, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos about ancient Egypt. See you next time.